I was asked by a relative of mine the other day, what gaming handheld should they get for emulation? And that left me thinking, what handheld should you get right now in this very early part of the year? It's already, February, so the year is still beginning. And what device should you get this early on? Really, there are so many good options coming out, already out, and I really was left, thinking for a bit. And I eventually gave them a suggestion, and they're very happy with that, what they have now. But I figured I should make a video about this topic because I think it's a pretty interesting subject to talk about, especially considering the rapidly changing landscape of these gaming handheld devices. So, the first device I would recommend for people is the Anbernic RG35XX Plus, or H, depending on how you like your control layout, because I think this is one of the best handhelds below $100. You can get them from Anbernic's website for about $65, or you can get them for about $70 to $80 on Amazon. So you pay a little bit more, but you do get that extra convenience of, getting it a lot sooner than you would on Anbernic's website. I feel like this offers a perfect amount of performance to be able to cover most of your retro library. You can play games up until the N64 PSP sort of range. If you're playing those more 3D titles, I would recommend getting the H model. And if you're mostly in it for the side-scrolling and, most of the 2D titles, I choose the Plus model. It's more suited for 2D platformers, given its more DMG sort of layout. I really like both these devices. I did a review for both of these devices not too long ago, and they're truly fantastic. I ended up giving one of them away to my uncle as a Christmas present, and he loves it so much to this day. For this next one, I haven't had any personal hands-on with this one, but I have had my hands-on with the Retro Pocket 4 Pro. For this one though, I'm recommending the Retro Pocket 4 Non-Pro. At $150, I think this offers compelling performance up until basically the GameCube and PS2 generation. It has the Dimensity 900 processor, which is the exact same one we see in the original Odin Lite. And so we already know and expect how this device would perform, and it's really nice to see that this, sort of performance tier is coming down in price. And I feel like this is sort of what you want to shoot for at this $150 price point. I did a video recently on the rumored at the time and announced sort of Anbernic RG556, I believe it was what it was called. And they were asking about input, and it's going to have a very similar performance to this one. It's not out yet, but the downside is with this Anbernic model, which I talked about the price, but now that we actually have some hard numbers about it, it is actually going to be around $180, which is really disappointing. I was really hoping for some more competition for this, Retro Pocket 4 device at $150, but unfortunately that won't be the case. So I'm going to continue to recommend the Retro Pocket 4 Non-Pro. I believe this offers a great deal amount of performance at this price point, and it might suit a lot of people really well. And another reason why I recommend this one specifically is that you actually have pocketability, with this device. It is a very small and convenient device. You can slip it into your pocket, your jacket pocket, very easily. That's not a very common thing for devices like this that have this level of performance, especially if you consider something like the original Odin Lite. Yes, that wasn't a large device, but it certainly wasn't pocketable, at least comfortably. So I feel like this device strikes a nice balance in terms of performance, price, and overall form factor. This next device, I also did some testing in a review on, the Ein Odin 2 base model. You can currently get this for $299, so basically $300 off of their website. And I think this offers a truly high-end level of performance. It has the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 2 with 8 gigabytes of RAM. In the high-end model, the Pro model, the Pro Max model, whatever it's called, comes with 16 gigabytes of RAM, and that's really what separates these two models. So if you're okay sacrificing that bit of RAM, you can get basically the same performance for most other games at a much cheaper price. The base model is capable of running a ton of Switch games. Most of them might not run perfectly, but you can get them to run, and if there's any more optimization with these emulators, it should get better with time, though I do say you shouldn't buy a device on future promises, but I'm fairly confident that the Android emulation scene for the Switch has been on a rapid development over the last couple of months, and it's safe to say that it will keep getting better. More titles will become more playable. The emulator will start running better and better with time. So it's whether or not you're okay with that concept that if you buy this Odin device specifically for Switch emulation, it will get better, but it might take a lot longer than you might anticipate. Though, that aside, the Odin 2 base model I think offers a compelling value, especially at the $299 price point. So there aren't very many devices currently out yet at that price point, at least that offer this level of performance. There are some devices coming out like the Ion Neo Next Lite, which is almost the same price. But I have already made my statement about that device and how much I fucking hate the idea of its very existence. But if you're truly just the emulation kind of person, you don't really need to play any PC games, the Odin 2 base model is a very compelling offer, if I'm being honest. It will probably do much better performance in terms of emulation, and it might offer you just a more easier experience overall in terms of the interface and the UI. With it being Android, you'll have a much easier time with this device installing and getting all your emulator stuff than I feel like you would on the Ion Neo Next Lite, which, bear in mind, is not out yet, so that still remains to be seen. But with my experience on the Steam Deck on Windows and stuff like the Legion Go and the RG Ally, so it can be a bit of a chore getting emulators set up on those, because that's just the nature of having a Windows machine instead. But with the recent development of EmuDeck becoming more widely available on Windows, that could be a much easier problem to get behind or get around, but that's just my opinion. The next product we're going to be talking about is the high-end option for those of you who have money to spend, who want to buy something nice. And the device I chose is the Steam Deck OLED model, which is a bit of a contradiction to what I talked about with the previous device, but hear me out. I feel like the Steam Deck OLED model offers enough, compelling other features than just emulation that might make it, more universal. While it might not have necessarily the best, emulation experience you could possibly have, it does offer so much more than some other devices you could buy near this price point. At this price point, you can have access to the entire Steam library if you so choose, given that it works on Linux, but that's neither here nor there. You have, the ease of use of downloading, EmuDeck, which is, since this is on SteamOS, it'll be much easier to set up your emulators on this than it would be on the Windows side of things. And it has this immaculate HDR OLED screen. It is so beautiful, colors pop, and visually stunning. I love the display on the OLED so much, is what really made me decide to recommend the device over some other options I thought of. Stuff like from Neo in particular is very compelling right now, but I feel like the OLED model genuinely offers one of the best, just immersive experiences. The speakers are solid, the display is beautiful, and it is on the larger side of things. It's on the very large side of things compared to these other handhelds, so it's not necessarily the most portable, which is something I do really like in a device, it being portable. That's why I love my Switch so much. While it's kind of, when I put it in a case, it becomes a bit unwieldy, but it's one of the compromises you have to make, especially if you want something this nice. It's gonna be kind of hard to find something exceedingly, pocketable that offers more performance. There's the Ion Neo Airs, but those have much different and greater compromises, I feel like, in terms of, battery life and, cooling, that I'm not inherently comfortable with. But if you want something more pocketable, I would recommend one of the Ion Neo Airs. In particular, they have one that's recently gone on sale. The Ion Neo Air S1 AMD model, comes with the 7840U, and it's expected to ship on February 25th, and you get $100 off right now if you pre-order it, I guess. And it's selling for $899. So $100 off that makes it $800, which is a good deal, I would think. This is a device that is much, more performant than the Steam Deck. So if you want something that's actually more powerful, I'd get the Ion Neo S1 Air. But my personal choice for best all-around option really does go to the Odin 2 base model. I think it offers a great deal of value for the money. It has amazing performance for the dollar. It has a great screen, not the best I've ever seen, but it's a great screen, and just all the stuff you can do with it. It has a great deal of compatibility. I genuinely really like this device, and I think that stands out as my personal choice for, the best handheld for right now in early 2024. What are your thoughts? Are you interested in buying one of these handhelds? Which one are you gonna get? I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Is there any devices that I forgot about, which is probably likely, because there's just so many of them, it's hard to keep track of them. I'd love to hear your thoughts, comments, and concerns down below. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All the other social media garbage down below. And last but not least, have a wonderful day.